Hello girls and boys, in this video I present you our guild very first clear on Halion 25 main heroic. Um, the fight went pretty smooth. I believe since the guild was created we tried already around 3 times doing this encounter. Last week we did a good progress, so we was thinking okay, let's try again, and we have a good chance to actually do it because last week we had a lot of progress, so we tried again and we managed to do it. So let's see how the fight goes. First meteor drop, second meteor is dropping now, the odds, trash, whatever you want to call them, are coming. So the hunters here are gonna misdirect the big ad to the main tank that is tanking Halion, the decay, and the roaches are gonna do tricks on the warrior tank, which is the off tank in our case. Um, every range is DPSing the big ad if the big ad is alive, and after that they're gonna swap on the little ads and pushing Halion. Now after we cross for the second time, we're gonna push Halion to the next phase. We're not gonna DPS dots. Here I noticed that my smart macro that supposedly dispel magic and put the spell that is dispelling diseases, it's not working, so I'm just putting the spell that is dispelling diseases. I'm not dispelling myself or anybody else in this encounter. I fixed that after the raid, but yeah, for the actual fight I didn't have it, so I didn't dispel anyone. Here we are pushing Halion, then we're gonna clear the trash that left from Living Inferno and Living Embers, and then we're gonna go into the second phase. The second phase, as soon as the tanks enter, we're gonna enter and we're gonna go to the right side on the Halion. So the tank is inside, I saw he might enter as well, and everybody just position themselves on the right side. Here, nothing interesting happening actually. The idea here is to move from the cutters and to put the debuff on the edge. That way we're gonna have more space to maneuver around. So ideally what you want, like what the raids did here, when the person that have the debuff get dispelled, he's gonna receive freedom from from Red Paladins, and he can move freely from the purple thing that is on the ground, so he's not gonna be slow at taking extra damage. That's what is happening. As you can see, the raids are doing good job giving him freedom. Another cutter is coming, the raid is moving, and this phase is going like this. Cutters, and then debuff, after the debuff we're gonna have cutters and so on. Here, if the debuff is on warrior, you don't want to use like freedom on him because he can intervene or charge the boss, so we're not gonna waste that on warrior. As I saw that one of the shaman did mana tide, did my him, so we get a bit of extra mana. This is probably gonna be our last cutter because the next phase is around, not around, it's on 50%, so what you want to do here is to not enter automatically into the portal, because once the portal is up, probably at the same time you're gonna get debuff like this person in group 2, and if you're going outside with this debuff, the debuff is gonna be put in the middle of the room where the portal is, and you don't want to do that. That's why it's always a good idea to wait a bit to see the debuff. The person who have it, he move on the usual position to get dispel, and then the rest of the raid just enter into the portal. Here ideally, like what we did, you want the Holy Pally on the one side and the rest of Shaman on the other side, so if the meteor drops, one of the tank healers can stay on one place and just spam heal the tank. As it happened here, the meteor drops on the Holy Pally, which was on the other side, so he moved to us, but the rest of Shaman was sitting with the rest of the raid, so he didn't have to move at all from the meteor, so the tank was getting heals all the time. This phase is the same as the first phase, but here we don't have the whole raid because the rest of the raid is staying inside DPSing in that realm. Warrior off tank get the debuff, he get dispel and returning back to the raid, so he can pick up the living embers. Everybody here has a range, should DPS the big and kill as fast as we can. We have 2 roaches and 1 unholy decay helping outside with living embers. Now here we are waiting for the meteor to drop, and then we just gonna cross. I believe here I did a mistake. Holy Pali Raru told me that he did sacrifice on the tank, but at the same time I pressed my Pain of Suppression, so we can overlap cooldowns here on the main tank, but we managed to keep him alive. And again, Hunters are doing MDs on the big ad to the main tank, which is the DK, and Roaches are doing tricks to the off tank, which in our case is the warrior tank. And that's how this phase goes, like killing the big attis with priority, then swapping to the little ones and cleaving the boss doing that. We saw that the boss is around 20%, so what we're gonna do probably is we're gonna bloodlust to kill these ads. So we're gonna have bloodlust for the next wave of ads also, and after that we just gonna finish the boss. We're gonna ignore the last wave of ads that we're gonna have. I believe that's what we're gonna do. So here again the same thing like before, just killing dots and then swapping to the boss. Yeah, we did bloodlust so we can kill these ads faster. Now we're gonna cross and we're gonna have bloodlust steal up for the next wave of ads, so we can kill the next wave of ads again faster. And then we're gonna ignore the next one, so the ads are coming. We still have like 17 seconds from bloodlust, so that's really nice. Tanks can get more heals, DPSers can do more damage, so that's are gonna drop really fast here. The boss is already around 7%, which is what we want. And now after we kill this last wave of ads, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna cross and nuke the boss, ignore completely that's just the tanks pick them up. Again, I get a debuff. I asked for dispel because, as I said at the beginning, my macro is not working, so I just put myself the thing that is dispelling diseases over time. Basically useless for this thing. And yeah, enjoy. This is how we did our first clear of this fight.
Good job, guys. Good job. Good job.
GG, GG. Well played.
Thank you.
Fast on everything.
Finally.
Is this guild first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.